When people mention the desert, they often think of an endless, desolate area with yellow sand all over the sky, where plants find it difficult to survive and difficult living conditions seem inevitable. However, the Kubuqi Desert in Inner Mongolia, China, is undergoing an unprecedented transformation. The Chinese government invested $360 million to build a more than 700-kilometer-long artificial desert canal in the desert. In the past 9 years, 120 billion cubic meters of water from the Yellow River have been successfully introduced into the desert, turning this once desolate desert into an oasis. Now, surrounding villages can breed and plant in the oasis, which has significantly improved their living standards. In today's video, we take a deep dive into how Chinese engineers introduced 120 billion cubic meters of water into the desert, and how local people are creating wealth in the desert. If you like our video content, please click to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can receive all our latest video content. Now, let's get into today's topic. Kubuqi Desert, a wonderful place located in the Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region of China, is famous for its vast area and unique geographical features. It is about 400 kilometers long, 50 kilometers wide, and has a total area of 13,900 square kilometers. It is the 7th largest desert in China. In the past, the Kubuqi Desert was dominated by its flowing sand dunes, which accounted for 61% of the total area, ranging in height from 10 meters to 60 meters, with various shapes, mainly dune chains and grid-shaped dunes. These constantly flying yellow sands have seriously affected the local ecological environment. Moreover, the Kubuqi Desert has a very special location. It is the desert closest to Beijing. During the dry seasons of autumn and winter, wind and sand blowing from Kubuqi will hit cities such as Beijing and Tianjin, increasing the frequency of haze weather. According to research, more than 30 sandstorms occur in the Kubuqi Desert every year, almost becoming the largest source of sandstorms in northern China. But the Kubuqi Desert is not just a vast sea of sand. It is also adjacent to the Yellow River, the second longest river in China. The Yellow River, with a total length of 5,500 kilometers and a drainage area of 750,000 square kilometers, originates from the Bayan Har Mountains on the Qinghai Tibet Plateau and flows through 9 provinces, including the Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region. The annual water volume of the Yellow River is as high as 8 billion cubic meters. In the hydrological cycle of the Yellow River, it goes through 2 stages of freezing and freezing every year, which last for up to 120 days. Therefore, during the Yellow River flood season, the rising water level poses a serious threat to the safety of the embankments and may cause flooding. If response measures are not taken properly, flood disasters may cause serious property damage and even threaten lives of surrounding residents. Prior to this, the Chinese government had to invest more than 10 million yuan every year to strengthen embankments in the Yellow River-related basins to ensure the safety of residents. However, this huge expenditure has also brought significant economic pressure to the government, and residents living in the surrounding areas not only have to deal with the sky full of yellow sand, but also face floods during the Yellow River flood season. These natural disasters have brought serious threats to life and property to residents in the Hangjin Banner area, and even forced some residents to leave their homes. However, the situation today has changed. Inner Mongolian residents no longer face the twin threats of sandstorms and floods, and they have successfully transformed this barren land into fertile farmland. So, how exactly is this done? In fact, in the face of severe natural challenges, the Chinese government has not given up on managing the Kubuqi Desert for so many years. With the help of scientific management and ecological restoration knowledge, Chinese experts decided to implement a project called Ling Ling Desert Control. The core strategy of the project is to introduce icy water into low-lying areas of the desert through the main canal and animal husbandry branch canals on the south bank of the Yellow River to form waters during the high water level of the Yellow River. This will not only reduce the pressure on the Yellow River to prevent logging, but also improve the ecological environment of the desert and achieve a true win-win situation. After years of planning and demonstration, in 2004, the Chinese government invested $360 million in this project and began to build a 700-kilometer water transmission system to facilitate the flow of water from the Yellow River through artificial canals to in the Kubuqi Desert. However, building an artificial canal in the harsh environment of Kubuqi is also full of great challenges. Chinese workers often have to use rudimentary tools to dig channels in strong winds and flying sand. Sometimes they need to go deep into the sand sea for exploration. Carrying heavy instruments and daily necessities on their backs makes the work very difficult, especially during the pipeline laying process, since the steel pipelines used weigh several tons or even dozens of tons. It is extremely difficult to transport and hoist them on soft quicksand. A little carelessness may cause the pipeline to deform, tilt, or even collapse. In addition, solving the problem of water body crossing is also a major challenge in the project of diverting the Yellow River into the sand. In order to protect the river ecology, the construction team had to take measures to overhead the pipeline or take a detour through natural water bodies such as the Yellow River. This requires engineers to design complex bridge and culvert structures which not only ensure smooth flow of water, but also take into account the hydrological characteristics of the river and ensure ecological balance. With extraordinary wisdom and courage, Chinese engineers overcame numerous difficulties and designed and built a variety of bridges and culverts to ensure the smooth progress of the project. In the desert where wind and sand were raging, the construction team worked day and night and finally completed the construction of the sand diversion project from the Yellow River and successfully connected water in more than 10 years. According to current plans, the Desert Canal can introduce at least 8 billion cubic meters of water into the desert every year. What's more worth mentioning is that when the Yellow River flows through the Kubuqi Desert, it not only brings precious water resources, but also transports fertile yellow mud rich in minerals and organic matter. The content of this yellow mud in the water of the Yellow River is extremely high. Some people vividly say that 7% of every bucket of water is sediment. More importantly, the yellow mud will expand when it encounters water, forming a sticky colloidal film that can effectively bind loose sand grains together, thereby changing the structure of the sand and significantly changing the structure of the sand. Improves soil water retention. At the same time, this rich organic matter provides necessary nutrients for plants on the sand, which is crucial for plants growing in a barren environment. It is precisely because of these unique physical and chemical properties of the Yellow River that the originally barren Kubuqi Desert was transformed into fertile farmland. Because of this, residents around the Kubuqi Desert flocked to this land and started a new life of planting and breeding. In 2016, local residents planted 5,200 acres of rice in this area, proving that this former desert has the conditions for agricultural production. By 2017, there are more than 100 varieties planted here, with a total area of 10,200 acres, covering food crops, cash crops, feed crops, trees, shrubs, and Chinese herbal medicines, etc., turning the desert area into an oasis. Subsequently, local herders also actively participated and established pastures in this oasis. Through the organic combination of grassland, farmland, and animal husbandry, they further promoted the oasis process of the region. Today, the annual net economic income of the Kubuqi Desert has reached $270,000, bringing significant economic benefits to local residents. Once upon a time, the vegetation coverage rate in the Kubuqi Desert was less than 1%, but now the situation has greatly improved. About one-third of the desert area has been successfully greened, with a tree planting survival rate of more than 80% and vegetation coverage increasing to 65%, an increase of more than 30% from 10 years ago. Now, the number of biological species has increased to 1,026, and the spread of mobile sand dunes has been effectively curbed. The introduction of the Yellow River water and the integration of the Kubuqi Desert jointly gave birth to this green miracle. Since 2015, a total of 490 million cubic meters of Yellow River water has been introduced, forming nearly 100 square kilometers of water surface and wetlands, and the desert area has been controlled to more than 8.4 million acres. This natural ecological pattern of connected sand and water not only transforms the deserted beach into an oasis, but also promotes the natural recovery and growth of more than 20 kinds of plants, and more than 10 kinds of water birds live here for a long time. In addition, with the improvement of the environment, tens of thousands of people have moved from the Gobi Desert to irrigated areas. They have actively planted trees and built sandproof shrubs around their new residences. This has not only improved the ecological environment, but also provided more opportunities for agriculture and animal husbandry. It brings abundant opportunities for people to get rich. In recent years, the Kubuqi Desert has become world famous for its successful ecological management. China not only introduces water resources from the Yellow River to improve the desert environment by diverting the Yellow River into sand, but also adopts projects including returning farmland to forests, prohibiting overgrazing, building a 3 North shelter belt system, 3-dimensional ecological photovoltaic desertification control, and Beijing-Tianjin sandstorm source control projects, including a series of comprehensive measures. These projects have effectively controlled desertification trends and achieved significant environmental improvements in local areas. This diversified governance strategy not only improves the ecological quality of the region, but also enhances biodiversity and the quality of life of regional residents. The successful desert governance experience has made the Kubuqi Desert a model for global desert governance, demonstrating how ecological degradation can be reversed through systematic efforts at the local and national levels. To not miss out on our future projects and news updates, please make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. We will continue to provide you with more exciting and interesting content.